Like I said, just before the recording started, we did a short meditation practice and we did a prayer, which was, it is actually not, it's not a prayer. It is the first Yog Sutra. Atha Yog Anushasanam. Okay. So let's understand a bit about this since I'm in the yoga capital of the world, Rishikesh. So it's like, बनता है थोड़ा तो योग का ज्ञान बनता है आज. Atha means now. So I have had students like who are into their 40s, 50s, 30s, and they feel that they are left behind, that they have wasted their years, and काश हम पहले शुरू करते ये. Okay. So what Yoga Sutra says, what Maharishi Patanjali says, that the moment you decide that you want to change for the better, that is when the practice of yoga begins. So it's never too late, whether you are in your 60s, 70s, 80s also. It is up to you that you can take charge of your life. It's a very, very empowering Yoga Sutra. And the last part is Anushasanam. तो शासन मीन्स अ रूलर. बोलते ना यहाँ पर बीजेपी का शासन है, कांग्रेस का शासन है, मतलब दैट पॉलिटिकल पार्टी इज रूलिंग दैट स्टेट. तो ये शासन के पहले उन्होंने अनु लगा दिया है, अनुशासन. सो दैट बिकम्स सेल्फ डिसिप्लिन. ओके. सो एक्चुअली इट इज नाउ द process of yoga begins with self discipline. It's not like it has to be forced by someone, or because you can be forced for a day or two. You cannot be forced for your life. Like I'm in marriage ceremony right now. People were awake here till 3 and 4 a.m. And I was like, no, I have my routines. I have my health. My health is my priority. I was there till 10:15. I just came back in my room. I slept at my regular time. It's slightly late by my standards, but I know that why it is important for me to take care of my health. So it is not a force thing, it's a self discipline. So you just decide for your life what kind of life you want. So it's not that you do wrong and expect the right. So if you eat the wrong foods, if you don't exercise, if you stay awake till late night, if you take a lot of stress, obviously the end result, the law of karma is always बोलते हैं in action. तो जो करोगे वो पाओगे. So that's why it's very important to have this self discipline if you want to be a yogi. A yogi doesn't mean a sadhu mahatma or rishi mahatma something. Yogi means someone who is in union. Okay, we have to योग. Actually the word yoga, योग बोलते हैं ना, संजोग, योग. योग का मतलब ही होता है यूनियन. Union of what? You can say body and mind, body and spirit, mind and spirit, you, your consciousness and universal consciousness. Ultimately, it is all one. So the day you realize that me and you are not different, you and this mat is not different, we are all that one energy. That is yoga. That is yoga. So yoga is not about asanas and pranayam and the fancy exercises and how you can do upside down. That's a very, very wrong interpretation of yoga. Okay. So this we will cover in detail in the coming months also when we do the Forever Young program, when we do. So that's just an extension of the Blue Zone project that we're doing right now. And goal would be to grow younger. Okay. So to grow younger, like I put up in the group a couple of days yesterday, a screenshot from a book. Okay, this book is by Robin Sharma. So I was at the airport just scrolling through. I have a habit of buying books, physical books. I just picked up that book and just slapped one chapter. And the chapter that came was OMAD. Okay. So OMAD means one meal a day. Okay. So a word of caution for those who are listening to this recording also. See, whenever you make any changes in your diet, in your routine, don't straight away jump to OMAD. Okay, your body will resist and you may give up, thinking that it is not effective. So this is actually for people who are used to doing 14 to 16 or 18 hours of IF. कि हाँ चलो, you're doing 14 hours comfortably. Then maybe once a week or once in 15 days. See, once in 15 days, so anyways, many people practice Ekadashi fasting here. But this is something which is revolutionary. I learned this around COVID time, around 4 5 years ago. This concept of OMAD, this is known as OMAD, and this is like a game changer. Matlab, if you want to reverse your chronic conditions, and this can help you. Look, I cannot like there is no adjective to describe, but this is I have known one case, a severe case of ankylosing spondylitis, where only through fasting he was able to reverse his condition. Okay, so be gentle on yourself, don't struggle with this. So what happens when we do OMAD? So let's first understand what are the benefits of intermittent fasting, and then we will shift to OMAD, because benefits are more or less the same. But yeah, this is like taking a fast train or a बोलते हैं ना, aeroplane to your destination. So I'm going to share the screen now, where we will learn the benefits. So this is from my earlier presentation that I made, how to eat in order to thrive. So I made this in December 2022. Yeah, I'm just starting the slideshow so that it is easier. Yeah. So what are the benefits of intermittent fasting? Yeah, first it is very basic that it induces weight loss and more importantly fat loss. Okay. So why I have mentioned fat loss here? See, in intermittent fasting, what happens is our body, it runs on two fuel sources. One is glycogen and second is fat. So whenever we eat anything, our body converts that food into glucose and it is stored as glycogen in our body. So first of all, if you eat like every 2 hours, what modern dietitian says, so you never tap into your glycogen stores also. You are just running on glucose. You eat, you get energy. You eat again after 2 hours, you get energy. So you are just like refilling your fuel tank and not using the fuel which is stored in your body. Okay, so that glucose which is stored in our body, that gets converted to glycogen. So suppose if you don't eat for suppose 4 or 5 hours, your glucose stores are depleted and you tap into your glycogen stores. So glycogen stores are like they stay in your liver. They are stored in your liver, say for about 8 to 12 hours. So what happens is when you don't eat for 8 to 12 hours, what happens is your glycogen stores also start depleting. Okay, but beyond glycogen also we have something known as fat. Okay, so we have fat stores because nature designed us that if we don't get food to eat, we will not die. Okay, so our primitive ancestors, the people living thousands of years ago, they didn't have this convenience food, this Zomato and Swiggy and the refrigerator ki jab man cha chalo button dabaya khana ghar mein aa gaya. So they had to like they were hunters and gatherers, and they had for days, maybe sometimes they went without food. So what nature did in us, nature is very intelligent, huh? So nature did कि चलो बच्चा तुम्हारे पास खाने के लिए नहीं है, there are fat stores. So you are actually not starving when you are fasting. You are using your fat stores as energy. So that is why you start losing that fat. And सबसे पहले fat use होता है हमारे liver से, हमारे brain से, and this is like a very healthy fat. You get into a state of ketosis. So when you fast for 16 to 18 hours, 16 to 18 hours, that is when you get into a state of ketosis, and fat is the best form of fuel. If you ask which is the best form of energy out of glucose, glycogen, and fat, it is actually fat. Your body loves using fat as fuel. And what also happens, I'll just take the next benefit, improves insulin sensitivity. I have spoken about this many times in the past, that the utilization of insulin, okay, the utilization of glucose in your body improves. So people with metabolic syndrome or diabetes, they benefit a lot from this. It's a very बोलते हैं ना, contra thing. But people with diabetes, be very careful. If you are taking any medications, then you have to be under medical supervision, or with a like a certified health coach who can guide you through this process, because your sugar, you can go into hypoglycemia. Your sugar can fall if you are taking medicine and not eating anything. So you have to like adjust your dosage also and then follow intermittent fasting or OMAD, what we are going to learn today. Okay, so it improves insulin sensitivity, increases energy levels. This I have experienced, and many of you have experienced who do fasting, that actually your energy level goes up, because the thing is that the logic is that digestion takes up a lot of energy. So whenever you eat something, how many of you feel sleepy when you eat anything, any heavy meal, afternoon mein khaya, you feel sleepy? Why? Because again, body is intelligent. It takes up all the energy because digestion is a very energy intensive process. Why we suggest sattvic food? Because that doesn't take up your energy. It's a very foolish thing that you are refueling yourself to rest. Huh? Like you are refueling your car tank and car says, now I want rest, now I want to go. Okay. So that's why food should be sattvic. We suggest a whole food plant-based diet, which is very easy on the stomach also. And you should feel energetic after you eat anything. But if you fast also, so naturally the digestion, that energy is, बोलते हैं ना कि you don't end up spending that energy in digestion. You can use that energy for various other activities, and you get also very clear thoughts. You will notice if you are fasting. So if you have any exam, any meeting, anything, don't eat anything just before that. Your productivity will actually go down if you eat a heavy meal before an important event. And like I said, improves mental clarity, concentration, decreases inflammation. This is what I want to address today. Inflammation. So anyway, see, inflammation, I have spoken about this again many times. This is a natural response of your body's immune system. Whenever any virus, bacteria enters your body, or you get a physical injury also, your body naturally produces certain chemicals which protects you. Okay, so inflammation actually is a protective mechanism. Problem happens when this inflammation happens without any trigger, without any injury, without any bacteria, without any virus. This inflammation happens. This is when it starts damaging your healthy cells of the body, and which is the major reason for autoimmune conditions, inflammation, autoimmunity. There are certain inflammatory markers in your body you can test. There is ESR, there is this CRP, that is HSCRP, where you can check the inflammation in your arteries of the heart also. So let's not get into all these things. But yes, you have to understand that inflammation, chronic inflammation is a killer. This is the reason for heart disease, heart attacks, strokes, cancers, arthritis, diabetes, you name it, and inflammation is the cause of it. It is so prevalent in today's day and age. Why? Because we are all putting the wrong fuel into our bodies. At the wrong time, हम गलत समय पे खा रहे हैं, गलत चीजें खा रहे हैं, कसरत नहीं कर रहे हैं, मूवमेंट नहीं है, sedentary lifestyle, lack of movement, so stress, all these things, your body doesn't like these things. And if you like keep putting those things into your body, the damage keeps happening within. On the outside, everything will be all right. 20, 30, 40 years of age, everything all right. Then those wake up calls start coming, acidity, skin itching, rashes, constipation, joint pains, headaches, migraines. Uh, uh, these are symptoms that you start having. And when you test your, go to a doctor, doctor says that you have inflammation. You need something called as non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. So what those drugs do, they produce certain chemicals in your body which inhibit the process of inflammation. Okay, so you take a medicine and you start feeling better. You say, "Doctor, to mera bhagwan hai." Okay, and doctor is like God, and he gave you certain medication, and that inflammation came down. But my question is, why did the inflammation first happen? And second, is there any natural way to bring down this inflammation? And one of that, the most easiest free way is OMAD, OMAD. That is one of the yeah, I'll just quickly run through the other benefits of IF so that people who have joined for the first time, they should know this. It lowers blood sugar levels, lowers cholesterol, reverses aging. Wow, this is a great benefit. IF. Alzheimer's also. Yes, Alzheimer's also, which is a disease which people normally get after the age of 60. You can also prevent Alzheimer's. So all the more advantage of doing intermittent fasting. Okay. Now, we were speaking something about inflammation today and OMAD. So, chalo, now we have reached 16 to 18 hours. You know that you are in a state of ketosis, you are using fat for fuel. So, another process that happens during IF is autophagy. So, autophagy is it's a body's natural recycling mechanism where your old cells die and new cells are constantly produced. Like I said in today's meditation, also, we are a collection of cells and they are constantly regenerating. So that process happens more faster, autophagy, and it's like your body is clearing up all the debris, the physical debris that is there, that is being cleared. Okay, and What happens after 18 hours? So there is another acid that is produced in the body which has the same effect which that medicine had on you. Okay, so you took a medicine that produces something, produces certain acid which brings down your, which doesn't let inflammation happen. And this is one of the easiest ways to produce that. I'll just show you. It's a slightly difficult word. I'll again just quickly, because you should know the name of the acid also. I'm just Googling it so that I also pronounce it correctly. It's a slightly challenging word. Fasting. Yes, I got it. Yeah, I'll share the screen again so that you all can look at the spelling. So I'd keep doing a lot of research myself also, just to check my knowledge so that I don't, yeah. So see, fasting, can you read this? Anybody can read this? The top line, the fasting increases. Let me read, because this is a slightly challenging pronunciation. So fasting increases levels of arachidonic acid in the blood, which may help reduce inflammation and lower the risk of disease. What is arachidonic acid? A chemical in the blood that can inhibit inflammation. And this is the NLRP3 inflammasome. This is a protein structure which actually increases inflammation. So what medicine does, it inhibits this NLRP3, वो उसको inhibit करता है, and it produces, fasting produces this acid. You can call this double A. Simple के लिए double A. Let's not get into all the technical terms. This happens only after 16 to 18 hours. So what Robin Sharma said in his book, that at least once a week. See, I'm not saying it do it daily. Any lifestyle that you choose, it should be sustainable. ऐसा नहीं है कि हम जोश जोश में आज शुरू करें कि every day I have only one meal and after 7 days यार भाड़ में गया मनीष भाड़ में गया टीहा I want to like live my life my way. Okay, see, we all are householders. We are not that still that yogi and those sadhu mahatma ki we can live on one meal for a day for the rest of our lives. So set realistic goals. Don't, if you're habituated to eating 4 times in a day, don't directly jump to OMAD. You will again fail. So suppose you are eating 4 times in a day. तो habit बना लो चलो, every, suppose Monday, every Monday I'll eat 2 or 3 times only, and see how your body responds. Do it for a few weeks, that every Monday have 2 or 3 meals. Then gradually 3 से 2 में आइए, and then maybe चलो आज Monday है, let me give it a shot. जैसे करवा चौथ होता है, जैसे many fasts we do. Okay, so maybe you can have a you can morning में तो we do IF anyways, we are used to doing. So maybe you can have a slightly heavier meal between 2 and 3 p.m. It's a very good space. मतलब your digestive power is strong at that time. Don't eat very late in the night कि पूरा दिन fasting करें 10 बजे खा रहे हैं, that again is not good for your digestive system. So maybe around 2 3ish, if you eat a heavy meal, तो एक sandwich का part हो गया, चलो 2 3 hours you were struggling 12 to 3, and then after that maybe you can just say कि हाँ, just for self control I'm doing this. You can set your own goals, think about the benefits. You can see this video. तो when you constantly बोलते हैं ना कि हम benefits के बारे में सोचते हैं, it becomes much easier. I do this trick. So whenever I follow anything, I just keep reading about the benefits. Whenever I get that hunger pang, so this is happening in my body, this is happening in my body, this is happening, that is happening in my body. So just give it a try. People who are like used to doing IF 16 to 18 hours, try kari, have full faith. Robin Sharma, you can like trust him completely. I have been following him for 15 years now, and he has like very good books that he have written. The first book, in fact, I read was The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. That book changed my life, and that is where my journey started with self-development and self-improvement. Any questions anybody has regarding OMAD, since this is a very uh, technical concept? One thing about what we can eat, that's a very common question that I get. But हम क्या खा कह सकते हैं? Anything you can eat, but obviously not all the colas and the pizzas and the burgers of the world. That again would defeat the purpose. Yeah, but a normal whole food plant-based diet, a bit of salad, some cooked food, maybe you can do a fruit meal, maybe a smoothie with something cooked you can have. So it's a balance. Like you can like find out what works for you. Don't be too hungry. Also have a proper meal. That's what I would suggest. So try करके देखिए एक बार कि how you feel. Naturally, you will feel more energetic that day. I tried करवा चौथ last month since my wife was fasting. मैं बोला चलो मैं भी करके देखता हूँ. पता नहीं. That day was a cakewalk. Maybe that love or that energy, some energy is there. It makes things easier. So I just had one meal around 9 p.m. because after the moon comes out, they have. So it's not very difficult. It's not very difficult actually. Since in Indian culture also we are there is so much of mention about every religion, not only Hindus. Every religion speaks about the fasting. So I think fasting का सबको आदत है करना एक बार. Let's do as a group. Let's practice once as a group, maybe in December sometime. So let's first get used to like tapering down number of times we eat once a week. Let's select Monday. हम Monday select करते हैं. And Monday we will target eating no more than 3 times. Okay, at least on Mondays, no more than 3 times we will eat anything. And then maybe after 2 or 3 Mondays we'll bring down to two. And then maybe somewhere around mid-December we will start OMAD. This will be a game changer, believe me, in the long term management of your health. This will change you completely. Yeah, Dolly. Yeah.
So, sir, when we're having green juice in the morning, and then after maybe 1 hour we're having fruits, so that will be considered 2 meals.
Two. Yeah, two.
So
Two.
you should club the green juice and fruits together.
Depends what green juice you are taking. And see, out of total love and respect, Dolly, what people think that you have to eat again and again healthy stuff to be healthy. But it is exactly the opposite. In today's day and age, I'm talking about today's modern day and age, it is more important to crowd out things. What is not serving you? So here I'm at the marriage. People keep me asking, अरे मनीष हमें क्या खाना चाहिए हेल्दी होने के लिए? मैंने बोला पहले क्या नहीं खाना चाहिए हेल्दी होने के लिए पहले वो सीखो. You just crowd out all the things that are not serving you and make space for things and just think about human evolution. I say to everybody, did God made us to eat every 2 hours or every 3 hours? That this superfood you eat, then after 1 hour another superfood, then after 2 hours another superfood. Then, and we think that we need all the nuts, we need all the greens, we need all the fruits, we need all the salads, we need all the chia seeds and this avocado and these things and the modern things that we are, all the fancy food that we are learning superfoods. Actually, we should eat local and seasonal. That's it. वेयर यू आर बॉर्न वहां की मिट्टी में बोलते हैं वहां के सब मिनरल्स एंड vitamins हैं. Naturally, if you are born in Afghanistan, Pakistan, you will tend to eat more nuts there because weather is such. It is produced there. If you are born in southern part of India, you will crave for more coconut water, right? So think. You don't need that amount of food. If you stay without food, matlab without food, just water. Okay, or some herbal tea is fine. Some herbal tea is fine if you like crave for this thing. That is okay, but yeah, the more if you eat anything which has carbs in it, anything which has carbs, naturally the insulin needs to be produced, and that fasting breaks. So any kind of juice, any kind of vegetable juices or white petha juice or anything that actually breaks your fast. Okay, so fasting means fasting, nothing else. It's like a no questions asked fasting. Okay, very good question, but very good question. Yeah. See, again and again खाएंगे ना pancreas damage हो जाएगा आप ये समझ. And that will lay down the foundation for uh, pancreatic insufficiency also at the same time diabetes. You become insulin resistant if you eat very often. You become insulin resistant. Okay. Any other questions? But see, किसको नहीं करना है ये? People who are pregnant, उसको नहीं करना है. Who are like breastfeeding, उनको नहीं करना है. Anybody with eating disorders. Okay, there are certain eating disorders that people have where they have a natural tendency to eat often. So you have to you have to be very careful with that because people sometimes actually start eating more in their feeding phase. That is also very bad for you. So it's very bio-individual. This is a group class. These are just general instructions I'm giving, but listen to your body always. That is also very, very important. Don't copy others or don't try to copy me, because this is a long journey. I've been doing this for many years now. So for me, maybe it was a cakewalk that Karwacha that I did. Maybe others will struggle. So be gentle on yourself. Okay, it's not like years of wrong eating and days of right eating will solve everything. अगर हमने 50 साल गलत खाया है तो एटलीस्ट 2-4 साल लगेंगे हमें पूरा इम्प्रूव होने में. ओके, सो सेट रियलिस्टिक गोल्स फॉर योर सेल्फ. डोंट बी वेरी अनरियलिस्टिक की कुछ नहीं हुआ यार, मनीष ने बोला मुझे, मैंने 1 महीना किया कुछ नहीं हुआ. कम ऑन यार, 50 साल कुछ गलती करी तो 1 महीने में कैसे ठीक होगा? Yeah, sometimes happens also, sometimes it works quickly for some people, but have patience. I would say have patience, be gentle, love yourself, have compassion towards yourself also. Don't judge yourself for the mistakes that you have done in your past. It was all consciously and unconsciously because of people, society, parents, teachers. सब गलत कर रहे थे तो यार आपको उस समय सही लगा वो. Okay, so don't have that guilt also. This process of transformation should be like enjoyable. Okay, so if you enjoy doing IF, then only do IF. It's a struggle, don't do. Believe me, struggle करके कोई भी चीज successful इंसान नहीं कर सकता. Okay, come, let's start with exercising. That is also very important. It's getting very cold also here. So I also need exercises. Everybody on the mat. Let's stand up on the mat.